So if you look at the following question, they are saying we need to simplify. So if you have to simplify, we are going to reduce. The following angles can be reduced. Your angles which can reduce are at the corners of your quadrants. So you have your 0, you have your 90, your 180, your 270. All these angles, they have an ability to reduce. Now, when you are reducing, you have an option to use this diagram. Unfortunately, this diagram is not going to be given. If you're going to use this diagram, you need to know it by heart. When do you find, for example, when do you find 90 degrees plus theta? When do you find 180 plus minus theta? So now you should know which you are finding it in the second quadrant. And then on the second quadrant, you will have to check which is sign positive or negative. Now, I'm not going to use the diagram to do that. What I want us to know is this. I'm going to be using what we call the plus minus 1 method. Okay? Now, angles that can reduce, we have the following angles in this line, they can reduce. These people here, they can only reduce. 180 and 360, they can only reduce. That's the only thing that they can do. So you have your 0, you have your 360. Those people, they can only reduce. And then you also have these people here. These people, they have two powers. They can reduce and they can change. What do we mean by that? It changes whatever is caused to be signed and then whatever is signed to be what to be caused. So Tina, when we're going to do this question, using the method that I'm talking about, the first thing that you're going to do is to go through each and every one of them and check which is it reducing or reducing and changing. That's what you have to do. Okay. So you'll come to 108. 108, does it reduce or reduce and change? It only reduces. So let's call this one RC because they reduce and then they also change. Okay? This one here we'll call them R because they can only reduce. So I'll come and write this thing this way. I will write it as the tan of x. Regardless of whether it's positive or negative, okay? I'm simply going to write it as 10x. Then multiply by 360. Come and check. Reduce or change or reduce only. It reduces only. So we're going to write this thing as the sine of x. Multiply by 90. Reduce or reduce and change. So if this reduce and change, it means instead of cos here, we are supposed to have what? Sine x. All over 108 here. Reduce or reduce and change. Only reduce it. So I'm going to write this thing as sine x. Multiply by reduce and change or reduce only. So this is going to be written as the one else there, sine x. Multiply by 180, reduce or reduce and change. So this one only reduces, so I'm going to have it as what? As the 10x. Okay, so far so good. The next step that we're going to do then is to take our calculator and check whether this thing is supposed to be positive or what, or negative. So you go to your calculator, you type each and everything which is there. So you're going to start by saying 180 degrees minus 1. Instead of x, now you put 1 again. And then you say equals to, you check the answer here. You don't write the answer again. And then it's clear because I started by writing what should be here so that I'm not confused. I started by writing whatever should be there. The only thing that I didn't do was to say whether it's positive or what, or negative. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is to use the calculator so that I know whether it's positive or negative. Here I get a negative answer. I'll come and say this thing here is supposed to be negative. Again. And then go to the next one. I'm going to have sine 360 degrees minus 1 equals to, we get a negative answer. Okay? So I put a negative here. Here I'm going to type cos. Even if I've written sine here, I'm going to write this thing exactly the way it is. So I'm going to have cos 90 minus 1 equals to, we get a positive or negative answer. So if you get a positive answer, we leave it exactly the way it is. Okay? And then after that, we go to sine 180 degrees plus 1. We get a negative. Okay? So we put negative here. And then it says, so we put two brackets. It seems as if it doesn't match. Our calculator didn't get it. So we have cos 90 degrees plus 1. Negative. Okay? And then from here, you say you have 180 degrees plus 1. And then it gives you what? A positive. So this is what you have again after it. From here, you can multiply your sign so that you know what kind of sign do you have in your numerator. On the numerator, you have a negative multiplied by a negative multiplied by a positive. Okay? So if you say negative multiplied by negative, what you get? Multiplied by positive, it gives us a positive, right? So it means in our numerator, we're going to have something positive. And then we say negative multiplied by positive. What do you get? Positive. And then as you can see here, there's something which appears on the denominator and on the numerator. So these two things are going to divide each other out. This one is going to divide this one. This one is going to divide this one. And then at the end of the day, it says our answer is going to be what? One. No, it's not always going to be one. When you simplify, then you do this one again. So yeah, we're saying negative multiplied by positive. That's what we're saying. I get negative and negative. What is negative and negative? Ignorance about positive. And then we have positive multiplied by positive. Positive multiplied by positive is going to give you what? Positive. So it means your numerator is positive. Then you go to your denominator. On the denominator, you have negative multiplied by negative. Okay? What is negative multiplied by negative? Positive. Okay? And then you still have a positive here. Multiplied by positive. And then positive multiplied by positive, it gives you what? Positive multiplied by positive. Then it means our answer is supposed to be positive 1. And then we are doing this one.